So, Eric, how are you?
Great. Nice to meet you, Naylor.
Nice to meet you in person, in the flesh. I've heard a lot about you, and I've heard a lot about the transition with REHLKO from Kohler to REHLKO. So I'm excited to talk through some good quick key questions that landscape contractors have on their mind.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Let's just start off with what is REHLKO and like what most people don't even know, right? Like most of the landscapers, they're like, wait, there's obviously a transition there, but I'm not really sure what that is. And so why don't you explain what REHLKO is and what that would mean?
Yeah. So, it's a recent transmission. It was a bigger announcement about a year ago when all of a sudden Kohler became REHLKO. But we came from Kohler. We were part of the Kohler Energy Group. Kohler is, a little bit more recognized for the plumbing and hospitality side of the business. And I think it became an interesting opportunity where we have new owners, Platinum Equity, that really saw the value of the energy group under Kohler. And I think it was an opportunity for them to be more focused on the plumbing and hospitality piece. And so that change happened in September of 24. And the big thing was, well, now that we have this Kohler Energy Group that we just bought, what do we call it? And so there was a lot of work and investment in what all the different naming options and what they really came up with. And it was really important because we have over 100-year heritage as Kohler, and we wanted to kind of have that somehow as part of our future going forward as well. And so the name that we settled on was REHLKO, REHLKO. And one, it's an anagram. It's a rejumbling of the letters from Kohler to become REHLKO. The other part that's significant of it is the KO in REHLKO is a nod towards Kohler. The RE at the beginning is really around resilience, and we talk about energy resilience a lot, reliability, availability of it, and and then the H and the L kind of fall into place, and so that's how it became a REHLKO. I think the other piece that I would say about this really exciting for us is that while we have this 100-year history of being with Kohler and part of the Kohler Energy Group, for REHLKO and where we're going now, it's an opportunity to redefine our future a little bit. I think there's all these great things that we're building on for our past, but there's a lot of new things that we want to focus on as we go forward.
Nice. That's very, very clear. And one of the questions that I have heard in the community from landscapers is, okay, well, what does that mean for the engines? Are the name changed?
Yep.
There's new branding. Well, are the engines going to change? What's going on with that? Are we still going to have the same high quality Kohler engines that we know and love? So maybe you can explain that a little bit more.
You bet. Yeah, no, for sure. I think, at the top of it all, I think innovation is going to be front and center for us. It's very clear even at this show, and maybe we'll talk a little later about it, but we have a couple of new engines that we want to talk about that are being launched here at Equip Expo this year. We have some more things planned for next year, and I think innovation and new product development will continue to be a focus for us. And I think engineering as a whole has always been a very, very much a strength of the what was Kohler engines and now REHLKO engines going forward. I think durability will be another one as we look at we have a diesel side of our engines or business, and we also have gas engines. And those two, I think more than ever, we're trying to bring together to become one engines business and leverage the strengths of both. In particular, one example is our new 888, a new Command Pro 888 that we've launched. That is really leveraging the reliability testing methods that we use on our diesel side of our business. And it's much deeper, more intense, and it's going to help ensure a more, higher quality product that we release. It's allowing us to have a 3-year warranty, things like that. That's just going to make us stronger, I think, more operationally and out in the marketplace. I think the other piece is just going to be around productivity that will continue. We have our closed loop EFI and, for fuel injection and up to 25% fuel savings, and just making sure that we're keeping, landscapers and them out doing what they want to do more often, extending the maintenance intervals and some other things that we're doing like that. And I think finally, just around continuous improvement, we've that for us has been a bigger change, I think, under REHLKO, which is how do we get better around process? how do we leverage lean tools and Toyota manufacturing processes to be able to kind of improve our business around the engineering and around the engines themselves. And we've done a lot of things like that. I think an example of that would be a standard work. I mean, you have a bunch of people in the company maybe doing the same thing, but they're all doing it a little bit differently. And how can you leverage the best practices that they're doing individually, bring that together and say, hey, this is kind of the standard practice we want to carry going forward. So there's a lot of tools and efforts and things like that we're trying to do to, ultimately make a better engine and a better experience for our customers.
Mm. So with all of the changing going on with like gas, electric, and the future is moving fast, and landscapers are all about numbers, right? Trying to figure out how can they get the most ROI out of whatever it is that they're doing, out of their products or their staff, so much in their business. So I want to ask specifically the timeline. Like, where do you think, what can contractors expect from REHLKO in the next 1 to 3 years? Like, I know you mentioned a lot of initiatives, but where does that fall into in the next 1 to 3 years? Because I feel like there might be some uncertainty with the transition, and contractors just want to know, landscape contractors, like where that falls in so they can plan ahead for their business.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's largely happening now. I mean, I'd start with the Command Pro 888. That is something that we initially launched last year, but we put through some pretty rigorous testing with our customers at our labs to ensure that we had a real high quality product to now really truly launch, and it's in production now at the show this year. And that is, there's some really great things about the 888 is that it's compact, it's quiet, and overall just a very reliable engine. It's up to 34 horsepower, 51 foot-pounds of torque. It is the most torque dense and power dense engine that's on the market right now, especially in the mid block category. So that part for us is really, really exciting. Again, closed loop, EFI, the fuel efficiency things that we know, especially a lot of our contractors and landscapers are looking for as we go forward. I think the other part is that, so that's a kind of a grounds up full development of a brand new engine that we don't have. On the other side is a 999, which we do have, but we've now made some innovative kind of incremental gains on that engine to make that much more powerful as we go forward. So we're advertising and talking about the 41 horsepower now, which again, sticker horsepower, that'll be, the best in class as well that anybody's seen. And so we're really excited about that. We're doing the Guinness Book of World Records event with that to prove the power and the durability of that engine. But, there was some redesigning of some components like the crankshaft and cylinder heads and making that so it's cooler, operates cooler, larger fan for more airflow. And also just some improvements around oil consumption to extend the maintenance intervals to make that more practical for landscapers and contractors.
Great. Since we're at the Equip Expo, what do you think you would recommend and that you're most excited about showcasing at the Equip Expo for attendees that want to come and check out REHLKO and really is essentially see everything that you said in person?
Yeah, I think it's, not to repeat myself, but I do think the more that we can have the conversation about REHLKO, Kohler equals REHLKO to some degree, but I think more over time, the Kohler name will start to fall off, right? I mean, we intend to, and we have a transition period for that brand through 2026. But, once we get to 27 and beyond, it'll be REHLKO only. And I think, you start to get a couple years out there, that name will start to stand on its own, and that brand will start to exude some of the qualities and the things that we're talking about. The other part is definitely the new engines I just mentioned. With the 888 and the 999, we're aiming for best in class power for both of those engines in the mid block and the big block. Super important to us. And again, we have additional things that will be coming out next year as well. So from an engineering and an innovation and new product development side of the business, I'm really, really excited. We're getting really positive feedback, especially on the 888, because that is launched and out and coming. So that continues to excite us and our customers. And we're happy for the exposure and on that, and really just being at Equip Expo, I think it's just really good to be able to have interaction with a lot of our customers in one space.
Right. And help explain the transition and reinforce that the quality Kohler engines have not changed
That's
from
right.
REHLKO,
That's right.
right? Still
Yep.
have the high quality, because Kohler has a really strong name for really strong engines. I own only Kohler engine mowers in my business. So that's why I think it's important for us to have this kind of conversation, and
Yep.
whenever chance I can as well, to, different names, same quality, right? I
Yep.
know you guys have your own slogans there, but that's just kind of my version of
Yeah.
what I'm
Yep.
seeing. So,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like we've talked about, it's the same people, same passion, same products. But again, it's an important inflection point for us again as REHLKO. I think the things, as I mentioned before, the things around the engineering and the engine and the developed engine itself will be things like operational excellence and customer excellence. More of an 80/20 focus, as I call it, for us as we go forward, that will start to stand out as another difference as well in our business.
well, thank you, Eric. It was a pleasure. I think the conversation that we had is really going to help landscape contractors. And hopefully, if they're going to be at Equip Expo, they have a game plan to check out REHLKO and they know what to expect.
Thanks, man. I really greatly appreciate it. It's good being here.
Thank you.